Welcome everyone to Unscripted Coding. Today we are going to build an AI-based web app, an entire web app, and we're going to do it unscripted in real time, and I'm aiming to do it in 15 minutes or less. The point here is that OpenAI's API gives you amazing ability to suddenly create tools that weren't possible a few years ago, weren't viable a few years ago. And one example of this is what we worked on previously in this channel, Polite Post. We write a quick, rough email here, and it's just one API call all the way to OpenAI, and they send a response, we deploy it back. Very simple. So, what are we going to do? Well, I have a blank web page here, and we have Visual Studio Code. So we're going to just start building it. Now, I always start with a template that I have on my JS fiddle, and I'm going to share it right in the description. Now, it's cheating a little bit, but really it just has the headers. It has a header, it has a footer, and most importantly, it imports a few scripts I'm using. Now, we can ignore Vue.js, but we're going to use jQuery and Bootstrap. This is just to make the site look pretty. So, with that, we have a header, a footer, and a big blank canvas to work with. I did come in with an idea, though. What I want to do is be able to pull out a variety of things from text. This probably isn't the best example, but I picked a logic problem because it has a lot of names. And what I'm hoping to do is be able to paste into a text box like this one, a paragraph or some text, and ask it to list out all the names or all the adjectives or all the verbs, etc. So, what am I going to do here? Well, what I'm going to do is go and look at the main class, and Bootstrap, you're going to want a container, and I probably want a row just for formatting purposes. Next, I'm going to need a form, so I think it's going to be input class, type text. It is not auto-completing, so what I need to do is go into docs and find text input. So we were close. I like the placeholder, so type of object. And I don't care about any of this, but I will give it an ID. Not a great one though. Text input. Next up, we need a text area, but I should probably take a look at this one. Paste text here, and I will call it text area. So if I save and I run it, we now have one text box and one text area. Last one we want is a button. And let's call it submit and give it an ID as well. Submit. Let's call it button. Keep it consistent. This doesn't seem right. Let's use a color here. Sorry, I got a new keyboard recently and everything's just a little bit off. So, it's causing some little issues. Hopefully, timing isn't too bad right now. We're at about 5 minutes. Okay, next up. So what we're going to do is create a prompt. And we've heard about prompt engineering. You're going to ask the AI the right question to have. So in this case, please take the following text in the area denoted by triple double quotations and list out the names. And then we might have the triple quotations, and then finally return the response as a JSON formatted list. If there are no items, please return an empty JSON list. And now we're going to take this sample and just input it over here. So we're using, let's use GPT 3.5, up the token length, and you can see Amy, Alan, Brad, Beth, Charles, Francis, Debbie, Emily, I think it got everyone. So it's outputting as a list, perfect. What I'm going to do is take this. Actually, what I'm going to do is look at the API call first. So if you take a look at the docs, they have a number of different possibilities. A curl is the most standard, but what we want is a jQuery response. And once again, I'm going to use OpenAI chat-gpt. Please convert this curl command into a jQuery ajax command. Beautiful. Okay, so let's come back here. This is bad practice, but I'm going to put the script here just so that it's nice and close to the rest of what I'm working on, and I'll move it to the bottom afterwards. I'll swap the content to prompt, and okay. So what I want to do first is trigger this button. So when button is .clicked, I'm going to do a function, and this ajax command should fall inside. So when the button is clicked, we're going to do this. Next thing, we're going to go variable, and I think we'll variable input equals. So we want to get the text from the text input, and we can do this with .val in jQuery, and we're going to go variable area, and this is basically the same thing, except in this case we're doing text area. That way we know what the user has inputted in the input and the text area. Next, we're going to create our prompt. So var prompt equals, and ignoring a phone call here, I think we can do it this way. Now, a lot of your magic is going to be how you create this prompt. Admittedly, you probably want to do better than this. You probably want to adjust. You probably want to adjust this, fine-tune it. There's probably better ways to say this, but for now, this should be okay. The other thing is I want not names, but I'm going to put the input here. That way we can ask for names. It could be adjectives. It could be verbs. It could be all sorts of different things you want to ask it to list. So now we have the prompt, OpenAI key. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit here. You want to protect your OpenAI key. In this case, I'm just going to paste one in. If you guys try and steal it, just giving you the heads up, I'm deleting this key right after this this video. So I'm trying to save a bit of time as we're running out, but we now have something workable, I think. So if I go here, see the developer tools, we have the console. I'm going to ask for all the names, and we're going to paste this over here. And so we got a response, and we want to go choices, 0, message, content. And that doesn't seem quite right because it returned an empty list. But let's come back here anyways. We're going to put an end div here, div id equals response. And what we're going to do is console.log, going to create response, and we're going to switch the text to response. And what did I say it was? Choices, 0, messages, and content. But before that, I want to print prompt. Console.log prompt here. That way we can see what's being sent to OpenAI. And let's try this one more time. Names. Okay, undefined. Please take the following text denoted by the triple and list out the names. So for some reason, it's not getting this text area. And that is because I put the wrong name here. Text area, no capital. Okay, let's do this one more time. Names. Looks like the right prompt. And cannot read properties of content. So let's look again. Choices, 0. Messages. Oh, message, not messages. And content. So, refresh. Names. Submit. 3, 2, 1. And then we have a nice list of names. And look at that. This is actually a really complicated problem if we didn't have AI. I'm just going to create margin Y3. Give a bit of verticality here. This is a really complicated problem. How would you do this if you didn't have AI to try and find all the names? And let's try all the verbs in this problem. It's really difficult to do because it's natural language, and we could do a lot of these things. Our email rewriting is one example, and I am trying to figure out what's wrong here. Content. Oh, I see. This is stupid of me. Class equals my3 instead of changing the ID. Okay, so this would normally be really, really difficult to do, and yet suddenly we can make this work. And we have managed to clock this in under 15 minutes. let's just take another minute or two to polish this up a bit. I want to do verbs again, and we'll paste this text. I think there is a minimum lines ability. You know what? Let's ignore this. But what I wanted to do is turn this into a bulleted list. This is not the nicest format. So attempting, solve, tell, throw, attend, sit, meet, arrange. Very good. And we could do this with different things. Adjectives, for example. But what I want to do is show you that OpenAI does a lot of heavy lifting. So in this case, I want to return the response as an unordered list in HTML, and we will change this. Return as an empty unordered list in HTML. And in this case, we wouldn't change it to text, but we'll just put it as HTML. And we are going to be able to do this one more time, and hopefully we're going to get bullets as a response here. Takes a second. Might be longer than a second here. Did I even click the button? There we go. Think it may have, not sure what happened here, but let's refresh this and go names. Sometimes using somebody's API means that you don't get the perfect response time, but in this case, you can see we get a nice response back. And I'm gonna try just a different one, another text, so that we can see it adapt. In this case, instead of this bulleted one, we're gonna have a much more denser paragraph. Different names: Colin, Emily, Kate, Fred. Colin, Kate, Fred, Emily, Irene. And we could do anything we want here. Words starting with the letter F. Might take a second here. Running slower than I usually see it. This is not great. There are many words that don't start with F here, and I wonder what the issue is. So let's read the prompt here. Please take the following text in the area denoted by triple double quotations and list out the words starting with the letter F. Blah, blah, blah. Return the response as an unordered list in HTML. Very strange that I didn't catch that, but I'm okay with that. It's not going to be perfect, but it's not going to be perfect because we've done a pretty crappy prompt that I came up on the spot. But what you want to do is refine this prompt and keep switching it. And all it comes down to is just changing these couple of lines, and you're able to create a pretty sophisticated web app. And let's finish this up. One last little bit of cleanup. Give it a name here. Text Extractor is what I was planning to call it. And we will copyright it or give it to Unscripted Coding here. And so we have a beautiful simple web app that's responsive, that can run on your phone, it can run on anybody's computer, and you're able to do cool AI stuff. Now, granted, this is not the most brilliant idea in the world, but if you start having good ideas about how to use chat-gpt, or if you're using chat-gpt in ways that are useful, you can build it into an app, put a checkout button, and start taking part in the AI revolution. Anyways, I hope that was inspirational. I just wanted really to emphasize how easy, how quick it is to engage with OpenAI and start building these tools. And it's not any type of magic, and it shouldn't be preventing you from pursuing and building web apps. It has never been easier to build something really, 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 really useful. And so day to day, I was encountering this problem. Friends were telling me I'm nuts for trying to build a web app around it, but 15 minutes, I only have to do this a handful of times to have said I've saved time overall. Anyways, I hope you guys found that helpful, useful, interesting. We will definitely be building more and trying more new things on this channel. So thanks for watching, and see you next week.